If, like me, you enjoy some delicious orange marmalade, but there's so very many steps involved in the traditional way of making it put you off, this video is for you. To make orange marmalade, you need some, well, oranges. I almost always use navel oranges, and that's the kind I recommend because they have a thick skin, which comes in handy for setting the marmalade. As much as possible, try to pick firm oranges with as few blemishes as you can because the skin is a vital part of the final product, imparting flavor as well as color. Now it's time to wash the oranges really well to remove all that lovely dust and germs they've been collecting in the supermarket. Patting them dry is also important. The star of the show alongside the oranges will be the humble box grater, which I'll use to grate the orange skin. I like to use this side, but you can also use this one. The trick for grating the skin is to rotate the oranges after 1 or 2 strokes, because otherwise you'd be digging into the pith. There's a great deal of talk about the pith being bitter, but I haven't been able to confirm that very well. The marmalades that I used to make some time ago that included a cut up pith often ended up bitter, but I'm not convinced it was the pith's fault. I believe there may be something about the oils from the skin in certain orange varieties, but I don't know yet. All I know is that my marmalade is not bitter. When you have grated all the orange skin, collect them into a bowl and set this aside for later. Now it's time to deal with the naked fruit. I just chopped them into coarse pieces, nothing special. When they are chopped, I transfer them into a heavy bottom pot, add enough water to barely cover them, put over high heat, and when it boils, I lower the heat to medium and cook it, partially covered, for 30 minutes. When the time is up, I take a potato masher and start to mash the orange pieces a bit. I don't want to make them into mashed oranges. I'm simply helping them to break down a bit to extract the pectin that's in the skin, and that will help this marmalade to set as well as removing the juice. You can also use a wooden spoon for this. After mashing the pulp a bit, I'll continue to let it cook for another 15 minutes, partially covered on medium-low heat. When the time is up, I strain this mixture over a sieve to get the all-precious liquid. Pouring a few batches at a time, I press with a spoon to help extract as much as I can and set this pulp into a bowl to let it cool a little. After I'm done, I squeeze the pulp once again with my hands over the strainer, but you could allow the whole thing to cool down and place it inside of a muslin bag and squeeze it like that with no strainer. I usually discard this pulp, although you can make cakes with it or add it to smoothies or something. When all the liquid has been strained, I placed a clean pot over a food scale and poured the liquid as well as the reserved grated skin. With that number as a reference, I add 50% of it in coarse white sugar, although you could add 75% or even 100% if you like your marmalade really sweet. I also add some salt, which will counteract the sweetness and give us a more balanced marmalade, as well as some lemon juice, which will also help us with the overall flavor as well as the setting, and some orange flower water, which is totally optional, but does give a lovely perfume to the marmalade. With that done, the pot goes back to the stove, on low heat this time, and I'll cook it uncovered, stirring occasionally to prevent it from overflowing or burning at the bottom. The marmalade will be ready when the bubbles popping sound somewhat heavy. In a food thermometer, it should read 105 degrees Celsius or 200 degrees Fahrenheit. You can also tell by the way the marmalade, dropping from your spoon, will form sheets followed by heavy tears, like the ones you cry on Saturday nights eating marmalade alone in your underwear. Another way of knowing if it's done is the plate test. Place a small amount of hot marmalade into a plate that was put in the freezer before you started. Wait a minute and run your finger through it. If it wrinkles and doesn't join back together, it's ready. After turning the heat off, I allow the marmalade to cool a little and then pour into clean glass jars. Place a clean kitchen towel over the jars and let them come to room temperature. And then I place the lids, date them, and keep them in the fridge. I plan on making a video all about safely canning jams and marmalades in the future, but this method is perfect for beginners or people who are afraid of making preserves. If, however, you are an experienced canner, you already know what to do when the marmalade is ready and still hot. Orange marmalade is my all-time favorite, and this recipe and technique is the result of dozens of experiments. The flavor will be very good the next day, but much better after a week. I can't tell you if the amount of sugar would work with Seville oranges, because I can't get them where I live. But if you can, feel free to experiment with the technique, times and amounts, and to make it your own. The beauty of this technique and recipe is that you are the one who decides how many oranges to use. All you have to do is follow the steps and all will be well. But anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see each other in the next video. Bye.